Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Gordie. Welcome to Gordie's Detroit Sports Catch Up. Today I've got a jam-packed episode for you guys. Just read down the list of headlines here. We've got Detroit Red Wings signing veteran D-man Travis Hamonic. We'll talk about that a little bit, but more so, I want to have a further discussion about the Red Wings and just where to realistically set expectations for this next season. Because the conversations surrounding the Red Wings, I've seen, fans anywhere from, a lottery pick to, um, winning playoff games. So, when it comes to the Red Wings, that's obviously our redheaded stepchild of the four, teams right now, unfortunately, which, he told somebody that 25 years ago, who would have thought? But here we are. Anyways, uh, moving on from the Red Wings and going to the other Illichoned team, we're going to look at the Tigers. They played 2 games this weekend so far. I'm shooting this uh, Monday morning, so I'm only really able to, or I'm sorry, Sunday morning. So I'm only really able to react to Friday night and Saturday night's games. Uh, so both of which being victories, clutched up and sealed the series victory against the Twins. So thank God, picked up, starting to pick up a couple series wins. Kind of getting on the right track, which is exactly what we need to be doing against these uh, just subpar teams. We should not be hanging around with the White Sox and the Twins, and I'm not gonna look too deeply into it. But when it comes to the Tigers not having the best looking games against some of these teams like tonight, or I'm sorry, last night, Saturday night, we saw quite the struggle from the Tigers when it came to uh leaving guys stranded and you know runners in scoring position and all that. But uh just to n- consistently still get these series wins and keep moving on, because we've got Houston coming up. That's going to be a hell of a challenge. So you know our, our bats, our arms, our guys got to be ready for that. uh Anyways, um Friday night, 7-0 shutout. Awesome, victory. Great to see. We hadn't really got a dominant, you know, um, comforting performance. One of those performance where I can just one of those games where I can just set it, forget it, and kind of. Um, Obviously, I'm still watching, but it's a lot easier for me to do something else while watching the game because I kind of know that you know once you go up, you know, 5-0 in the first inning, well, all right, we can we can take a breather, But yeah, shout out to Charlie Morton and a perfect 6 innings. Love to see it. Um, and then for last night's victory against the Twins, Casey Mize, damn good performance all around. I know he got touched a couple of times, but I'm not stressing out too much about that well, because the 10Ks look pretty fucking good and we won the game. So just I don't mean to be blunt, but that's how it is. Um let's see here. Yep. So they ended up winning that game 8-5. Um there's some things that, or specifically, there's some players that I really like in this game that I think shined and kind of proved, validated me. And then there's one or two that broke the mold either in a good or bad way that might make me look a little stupid, but that's okay. You know, uh, with new information, I'm allowed to change my mind, so things can happen. But yeah. Anyways, uh, shout out to the Tigers for taking care of business this weekend. But on to the other Motor City Kitties. Uh, the Detroit Lions dropped a tough preseason game to the Miami Dolphins at home, 24-17. Um, Not stressing about it. There's really only one thing that happened in this game that I might be stressing about, but we'll talk about that. And that's a kind of a big what if, but we'll get to that. Um, you know, these preseason games, not a whole lot to them. I mean, talent evaluation, obviously, that's the first and foremost. But I mean, there's just not a whole lot there when you got second, third team guys going against, second, third team guys. It's, you got your little bright spots, but other than that, I didn't spend it, I didn't give this game my full attention is what I should say. Um, I had it on. I was keeping track. I definitely, I saw the Isaac Tisla touchdown. That was awesome. But yeah, eventually I had to turn it off and start the interview that I did this weekend. I should be posting that um, relatively soon. Still editing that, so we'll get to that, but that'll come out real soon because I want to strike while the iron's still hot when it comes to the University of Michigan sign stealing investigation, and then I want to make sure I still put that out while people are looking for something like that because I think we do have a really interesting story there. Um, Anyways, without further ado, let's take a quick break and we will get into a uh short lion segment. I'll be right back with you guys. All right, it's time for segment 3 of Gordie's Detroit Sports Catch Up. And in this third segment, we're going to be looking at the Tigers games on Friday and Saturday night, both of which were wins to get the Tigers a series victory over the Minnesota Twins. Um, so, shout out to the Kitties for taking care of business. Um, so, yeah, specifically, we'll start with Friday night. Um, Game 3 of the 5-game series, Tigers took care of business, won 7-0. Uh, we had a real fast start to this game. Uh, Keishel, uh, Keishel, brother. I feel bad for Minnesota fans getting stuck with somebody like that. 2, 3 like just terrible plays. It almost felt like Detroit's bats were kind of hunting that guy. So I think Luke Keishel, I think it is. Damn, bro, rough day, and the boys took advantage of that too. So there was a error by Keishel that should have been like a routine double play. That turned into an RBI for Kerry Carpenter. Uh, Colt Keith, scored home for the first run. Um, And yeah, right after him, Dylan Dingler goes up, smacks a 1-0 fastball right over the head of Luke Keishel. Uh, right, just pokes it into shallow center field. Um, and yeah, that was that was all Torres and Carpenter needed to get home. And yeah, just like that, you know, Tigers up 3-0. Um, Afterwards, Zach McKinstry went up. Um, he smacks the first pitch that he sniffed, and yeah, so he got a nice little base hit, and also sent torque home for nothing Tigers. Dingler would be the last to make the round trip, which by the way, Dingler got his 100th hit with the one that sent Torres and Carpenter home. Um, but yeah, Dingler runs in off of RBI from a changeup, uh, from a decent hit from Javi Baez off of the changeup. Um, so yeah, shout out Pearson Ole, rough showing, but it's not like Minnesota really has any pitching left. So what are you gonna do? Dingler and Baez also they both got hits again later in the game. Um, I didn't this one I didn't get to watch a whole lot of, unfortunately. But I did listen to a lot of this on the radio. Shout out to Dan Dickerson, always amazing on the call. Um, it overall, I mean, the the biggest like feeling that I got out of this game is just it was just nice to take care of business against an inferior team. It was nice to um you get up 5-0 in the first inning. It it really does a lot to soothe the nerves, but if Saturday night's game proved anything is that you know you can't sit on a lead. Um, but anyways, uh, I would have to say my player of the game is definitely gonna be Dylan Dingler. Um, Listen, dude, 3 ribbies and getting your 100th career hit. That's that's cause worthy of recognition. So, shout out Dylan Dingler. Um, Quickly becoming one of my favorite players on the team, and that's we still have more catching prospects in our prospect pool in our system. So the future is bright for Dingler. Um, Man, yeah, a big fan of Dingler. Anyways, other than Dingler, I got to give a honorable mention to Charlie Morton. I'm pleasantly surprised with the Grizzled bat. 6 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, only let up 2 hits, 2 walks. Not bad. The biggest thing from Charlie Morton that I was really happy with was the curveball. You had 3 strikeout swingings on the just nasty curveballs. Um, that's I love to see that. That means that your signature pitch is working. So you know, hopefully it stays that way. Hopefully we don't see a Tommy Kinley situation where he just totally forgets how to throw his signature pitch. Um, Anyways, other than that, not too much else with this game. I think those alternate jerseys for the Twins are butt ugly, and it makes them look like the Brewers. Um, Other than that, not too much else to mention when it comes to Friday night's performance here. Um, but I do have a lot more to say about uh, Saturday night's performance. So let's get into that. Uh, Tigers beat Minnesota 8-5. Away game. Casey Mize went 6 innings and some change. Only three ERA and 10 Ks. Um, Great performance from our guy Casey Mize, which we need for him being, first round pick and somebody who's kind of been stashed away for so long. For him, for him to have this season as a coming out party for Casey Mize, I don't think it's that you can totally write that off yet. I think especially if he gets hot going into playoffs, I think that the stories the verdict's still out on Casey Mize, um, which is a good and a bad thing heading into playoffs because it's good because you don't know what you might get. It's bad because you don't know what you might get. Same thing for Jack Flaherty right now. Unfortunately, same thing for even a Charlie Morton or a Troy Melton. So, um, yeah, Casey Mize, like I said, he did look pretty good today. Got tagged a couple of times, but um, like I said, it's gonna happen. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but um, anyways, other than Casey Mize, we also got some awesome performances. Just one inning, all you need from him. Pitching performances from Vest and Finnegan, more so Vest. Um, that was really an important moment in this game because being down one, bases loaded, eighth inning, really tough spot. There's not too many pitchers in the league that you can confidently send in there and or just there's not a lot of pitchers in the league that you can trust in a situation like that to you know get you out of that jam. And luckily, our safety vest, Will Vest, came in clutch tonight and took care of business. So, shout out to Will Vest. That's another one of my guys. That's kind of sneakily one of my favorite guys on the team. Um, Also, he's got a 9 in his number, so shout out. I always love the guy anybody that has a 9 in the number. But that's a superstition thing that doesn't really matter. Um, I guess okay, so I'll go just kind of through my game notes here. Um, First inning, I got kind of ticked off. Wenzel Perez had 2 men on, and had a 3-0 pitch come at him right in the middle of or in pretty close to the middle of the zone. Watched it whiff by him. 3-0 count, dude. Swing at it. For the love of God, swing at it. Anyways, um, bottom of the first, just 2 Ks, easy outs for Casey. Wasn't uh, you know nothing special. Um, so bottom of let's see here. Yeah, so for oh yeah, okay. Sorry. Sometimes my own notes are a little bit hard to read. That's why I try to put everything in a script, so everything's in nice, neat Times New Roman. But sometimes I gotta rely on my notes. Dingler had another awesome play. I know I've been talking about this guy a lot, but uh, just a absolute rocket to Trey Sweeney at second base to Tyrell Martin, who was running in trying to steal second. And uh, I think every single game we see one of these from Dingler where he just loads up the rocket launcher and lets that thing rip right over the pitcher's head to second base. And before before homeboys even sniffing second base, our guy already has it in his glove and in the foot on the bag, and see ya. So yeah, Dingler, those plays get me irrationally excited. Um, I I love seeing good catcher play. Um, that's something I think is pretty underrated. So shout out to Dylan Dingler. That was a badass play. Um, second period, or I'm sorry, second inning. Um, Mize and Mize gets another, you know, 2Ks, easy inning. Um, Damn bugs, get the hell out of here! The hell out of here! Stop ruining my video. It's a solo stream, not not an interview, guys. Sorry about that. Um, but yeah, the for the third inning, uh, listen, Carey just ripped the bomb. Awesome. That's exactly what you want from him. Nothing, not a whole lot I can say. Um, Other than the fact that I forgot to mention a torque bomb in the first inning. I I don't know how I forgot to mention that, but torque bomb in the first inning. Sorry guys. Let me be, let me get my stuff straight here. I know, anybody watching this that watched the game was probably wondering why I didn't mention that, but yeah. Um Carries, bomb in the second helps the Tigers go up 2-0. Um Wenzel Perez kind of redeemed himself a little bit with a useful out that helped to, advance runners, but eventually it didn't matter because, you know, Dylan Dingler sent an easy fly ball out to, you know, end the third. Let's see, bottom of the fifth, the Twins start to fight back a little bit. We get Brooks Lee with a 2-run triple, and then that's followed by a RBI sac fly to left, and just like that, Minnesota's 2-3. Uh, Top of the sixth, Riley Green, bases loaded, RBI, just smack that thing left field. Um, he gets the game tying run and his 90th RBI of the season. So shout out. Um, Bottom of the sixth, just when it was kind of looking rough for Casey in that fifth inning. He got a really strong last push with another 2Ks. So um, shout out that would lead to 10 total for his career high. I know he probably doesn't want to admit it because he let up the runs, but that was a great performance. If that's the Casey Mize that I'm getting every time, okay, you're third. You're our third playoff pitcher. You know what I mean? Fine. That's I can live with that. Um, you can call me crazy, but I can live with that. Anyways, I, I gotta get to some of the things that really bothered me in this game because there was there was a couple glaring issues with this with this game. Um, 4 for 21 with guys in scoring position. You can get away with that against Minnesota, but we got Houston coming up. I'm pretty sure we got the Mets coming up. You constantly leave guys stranded. You leave points on the board. You uh get behind in counts, and you get sent off home base and 4 or 5 pitches with your tail tucked between your legs back to the dugout. You know, you need to push these pitchers. And I think they did a decent job uh with the Twins starting pitcher. I noticed he was at like 50 pitches by, what was it, like the second inning, second or third inning. So, um, you know, they did a good job at um, for the most part, at least, just in the beginning of pushing that guy to the limit. But eventually guys get tired, guys start swinging it, more and more, just kind of trying to get out of there. Um, and yeah, just leaving too many guys stranded, man, and uh not capitalizing when you got a chance to score points. So it's frustrating, but there's not too much you can do about it. What is very, very frustrating is Holton. Holton is Holton's rough, man. Um, I mean, the error at first kind of was all I needed to see, but also as soon as he came in the game, it felt like the atmosphere changed a little bit for the Tigers. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of the lefty Tyler Holton. Not a fan of him at all. You know, ERA of 2.5. Um, I'll look right now, see what his WHIP is. Probably not. Yeah, one. Okay, 1.07. That's that's pretty good, but um, still, yeah, not huge on Tyler Holton. And that error at first, dude, that was one of the more egregious baseball plays I've seen from the Tigers in a second. Um, that was rough. That was really rough. You can't get away, with being a consistently relied upon relief pitcher and go out and do shit like that. And well, you know what, we saw that AJ Hinch was pretty pissed because I haven't seen him fast walk to the mound like that. So yeah, he was not happy. To say the least. Other than that, um, I would probably have to say player of the game. I'm gonna have to go with Casey Mize. Just I don't mean to make both the pitchers the player of the games, especially in a game we give up 5 runs, but it's not totally Casey's fault. Uh, Holton's kind of a bum, so that happens. But um, I really want Casey Mize to be good, man. I need Casey Mize to be good. The Tigers need Casey Mize to be good. So wishful thinking. I'm gonna try to manifest it. I don't know, whatever. I'm not really into all that, but I'm gonna try to manifest this. Casey Mize, you know, second best pitcher on the team. We need it. We need it bad because that it can't be Charlie Morton. It could be Jack Flaherty, but it's not looking like it. Jack Flaherty's like his stock is plummeting right now. It's not looking good in Jack Flaherty world. But yeah, MVP Casey Mize, shout out. Um, I'd probably have to give a honorable mention to um, Riley. You know, Riley smacked one, Torque smacked one, um, Carey smacked one. So yeah, I mean, all these guys did pretty good. It's kind of hard to give a honorable mention when you know what? Okay, screw it. Honorable mention Trey Sweeney. Why not? Why not? Let's see what he did tonight. Yeah, 5 at bats, 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 RBI. All right, dude. I'll give you your flowers. Good game tonight. Um, I know Jemai Jones also got 2 hits. So yeah, shout out. Not too much of a shout out though, because you know one of each of their hits came in in the ninth, bottom of the ninth. So whatever, have fun, guys. Go crazy. But um, yeah, uh, we needed to take care of business there. So I'm I'm just glad that even though they've been playing us tough, we're still able to just eventually steamroll them with our greater level of talent and our vastly superior level of coaching. Um, but anyways, that's all I have to say about the Tigers' previous 2 performances on Friday and Saturday night. Um, yeah, if you guys have anything you want to say about the Tigers, let me know in the comments. And other than that, we have one final segment on the Red Wings. Um, and yeah, without further ado, back to you with that final Red Wing segment. Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is segment 4 and the final segment of today's show. Today, or in this segment, we're going to just be going through um, the Red Wings' recent free agency signing and kind of just my expectations and reactions to the roster moves throughout the summer. Um, so yeah, Steve Eisman goes out and signs 34-year-old veteran Travis Hamonic. Uh, Listen, it's a 1 year, $1 million contract. So I'm going to talk about it because uh, I want to talk about the Red Wings. I think it's obviously, we got to talk about all of them, and I think it's important to talk about them. I mean, he's played 900 NHL games. He can block 130 shots and delivery, like 100 hits. But like he's he's a defenseman's defenseman. That's for sure. He doesn't, provide anything in terms of handling the puck, but um, he's another guy that you know won't be the worst on penalty kill. Um, but if he wasn't if he was 5 years younger, I would assume that this guy would be a straight to Grand Rapids kind of guy. I Between the production and just his role on the team, it's just a depth piece, really, I, which is odd because it's like it feels like death by a thousand shitty paper cuts with this decor. Um, I mean, the fact that Justin Hall is still on our roster kind of makes me sick, but that's neither here nor there. Um, it's just sad that there's virtually like no improvement from last year's decor. Guys like this, it's it's not going to push the needle. So I don't know. We'll see what Stevie's cooking, but I'm not a Stevie doubter necessarily, but it is definitely time to kick it into another gear. And this last offseason was pretty disappointing. Um, Yeah, I think, if things are rough, we might see him on third pair. If we ever see him on second pair, or host. But yeah, he'll probably be playing with like a Gustafson, or um, God forbid, yeah, they can't send him out there with Hall. They wouldn't send him out there with Hall. God, I hope they don't send him out there with Hall. That'd be an unplayable deal, tandem. But anyways, um, other than our new guy Travis, I don't feel extremely confident with this team next year, because I feel like, other than the fact that we didn't sign enough talent, from outside, the talent from within isn't ready yet. And that's a really sad reality that I think a lot of Red Wings fans are going to have to face, is that Kosa's not ready. Um, Axel Sanupelica is not ready. A lot of these guys, they're not ready yet. And it sucks to hear, because um, you watch teams like Ottawa and teams like Montreal pull up their young studs, and all of a sudden they're contributing to a playoff run. But uh I don't want to rush the young guys, especially if they are as good as advertised. I just i just i hate sitting on my hands, you know especially when I think we got a shot with at least the top line, talent that we have on this roster. I think we can win some playoff games. It's just a couple of pieces away, and that's kind of what killed me, because it almost felt like, um ever since 2023, I would say, um maybe, I kind of felt like we've taken a step back. So the only way that we move forward would probably be in the goalie conversation with John Gibson. He's actually he's a solid tendy, and I think he's going to be really good for us upcoming. But um, he you know he's only so good as long as his decor keeps his zone relatively clean. I mean, if you got Swiss cheese in front of you, you're going to start looking like Swiss cheese. So um, get out of here, fly, dude. I I hope you know what's coming, bro. I hope you know what's coming. All right. Yeah. When it comes to the signings of guys like Van Riemsdyk or Applebaum, again, I'm not looking too deep into that. Those are, to me, kind of just like safety net pieces, where it's um you don't have to put a young guy out there that isn't ready yet, and you don't have um a total lack of talent out there. I mean, these guys are proven NHL vets, so um, yeah, there's a level of security there, but it's not great. It's not great. So, given where the division is, and all the teams that are kind of zooming by us on the highway, uh, metaphorically, I don't see playoffs as being very likely for the Red Wings this year. Unfortunately, I you know I just don't, and I hate to say it, but um, I'm not gonna bullshit to you guys. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I'm gonna tell you guys, what I believe, and yeah, no, it's not looking great for the Red Wings. upsetting because they got Hockey Town back at the center logo and all that, but um, yeah, it sucks. I feel like mostly because people are starting to care again. There's I've been to OCA for some of these later games later on in the season, and it's packed. It's hectic. It's the hockey fans in Michigan get up and they get loud. So you know I just I just wish the Wings were better to give us fans something to really root for. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a couple of years before we're con- we're gonna be able to consistently fight for a playoff spot and also be in the position to win not only a playoff game or two, but actually win a playoff series. Win go on a run. So I I get it. You don't want to you know sell the future for um a present that isn't even guaranteed. But you just can't help but feel a little disappointed in the effort. But yeah. Other than that, I think that's all I got for the Red Wings, and really all I have for the rest of today. Um, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Um, if you guys enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend, that is a Detroit sports fan. Just trying to get the word out there, trying to increase the following base. So, um, whatever you can do to help is greatly appreciated. If you guys want to find me on Instagram, it's at Gordon J Jonesy, I, and yeah, I'm always down to chat sports. So if you want to talk about any of our teams or whatever, yeah, hit me up on Insta, uh, shoot me a comment. I'll be more than happy and willing to chit chat. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Um, one thing in the comments, if I could ask you guys, beer recommendations. Give me your beer X. All right. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you later.